everybody, this is Ginger and Ginger's Chat Show, and it's Wednesday, December 3rd, and I'm getting a lot of stuff done today. Whoops, we blinked here. Um, oh good, they got it fixed. Good. Uh, Now it's working properly. Good. Because it kept, when it ain't going live, it kept buffering and buffering and buffering. Now they got it fixed. Good. Anyway, I hope the comments show up soon. Because I like to, hear from you guys and everything. If not, just leave a comment afterwards and get back with you. YouTube is trying to fix some issues, and so they are, as everything, things have a tendency to hiccup. Anyway, today we're doing Hump Day and cover-ups. Normally I do Winging It Wednesday, but it's kind of half that for right now. As you know, Secretary of Defense. I'm saying defense. I'm not saying war. I'm saying Secretary of Defense. The guy's an idiot. And so is Trump. Texas is trying to cover up the unwarranted attack on Venezuela waters on the boats. I don't think he did any, what do they call it? Research, if you will, on, and find out if they really truly are drug traffickers, not somebody that's out just enjoying waters, okay, enjoying things, and killing two innocent, then going back and killing two innocent people. Hagler should be in jail for that. He should be in prison. He should be at Leavenworth. Leavenworth is a military prison. And so he should be in Leavenworth. And plus he hasn't been honest. He hasn't been truthful. And he's been drinking all the time, which does impair your judgment. Okay? Even prior to all this, his own mother went against him and said, I didn't raise you this way. Now they, sorry, they stay in the news that, he has, the Pentagon is now investigating him. And so what? He's so-called Secretary of War. He's actually Secretary of Idiocy, is more than anything. Pentagon is a lot smarter than he is. Okay? They know what's what. They're trained on how things work and what they need to do in order to protect us the citizens, okay? And then Trump and Hegseth going after admirals and commanders and saying, oh, well, you did this and you did that, which is not true. And what the commanders, admirals should have done was before the attack and said, no, but hell no, that's a war crime. That's against international law. And every military officer has a right to refuse an illegal order. And that order that Hegseth gave and Trump gave is illegal. And I think now Trump and company need to be thrown in the pokey. Now, I don't know about the other secretaries and the other departments, what they're like. They haven't been saying much. They've been very, very quiet. Okay, and I think they're trying to do their job. But knowing, and I think some of them are too scared of Trump. I think what it is they just don't know him very well. Okay. Uh, they know he's a bully. They know he runs when confronted. So they should stand up to him. Now, Vance's career is pretty much over. Okay. He's a wimp. Vance is a wimp. And sure, in the previous presidents we had, occasionally you would have a vice president that would point out something that either hasn't been thought of or that that knowledge wasn't well known. And then the president would pick it up and go, oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, sorry. Type thing. Vice presidents are supposed to, their job is to work on other aspects of policy and everything else on the president's behalf. Uh, but they need to be on the same wavelength as the president, but not coerced into the wavelength. Trump pushes, and he basically subtly or unsubtly threatens his his cabinet members. And he wants loyalty. Well, no, loyalty isn't to the Constitution, not to the president. You're never loyal to the president. You work alongside him, but you're loyal to the Constitution. Just as the president should be loyal to the Constitution. Okay? Well, Higgs is neither. He's not loyal to the Constitution. He thinks he's above the law, like Trump thinks he's above the law, which they are not. Okay. And then, and I think now Congress needs to put its foot down, because 1A, they did basically confirm Higgs as Secretary of Defense. When he starts doing all this, then they should remove him. Okay? He should be fired. Trump refuses to admit that Higgs is doing all the wrong things, and Trump does not listen. Trump is so sick now, it's not even funny. He doesn't have any judgment, and even Stephen Miller is egging Trump on. Miller should be removed. Okay? So they should be removed now, all of them. Okay? Before any further harm comes to us. Now, we're doing pretty good about pushing ICE back, and Noam back, and Bondi back, and saying no, laws were put in place for a reason. You don't sit there and arbitrarily kidnap people and harm people and everything else. You have to do due process. Frankly, you know what? If Noam and Bondi were arrested, they should be denied due process just to give them that feeling what it's like. They go, well, you're down to their level. I go, no, it's to teach them a lesson. They need to be taught a lesson. Trump is too far gone to learn a lesson. When you confront him, he backs down, he runs away. The guy's so thin-skinned, as all the other podcasters are saying. So, we need to push back. We need to yell at Congress and say, hey, we're the bosses. Do your job, remove them. Remove all of them. Do the impeachment process now. Because you know what? If you're condoning what Trump is doing, you're not only endangering yourself, your families, and your communities. And if some of those don't care about that, well, when the time comes and it happens, you're going to be changing your mind real fast. Because the human nature is always either fight or flight. But it depends on what the situation is. Okay? Um, whoops, sorry. I don't have much room on my, I don't have much room on my desk. Anyway, um, now as far as the Tennessee election last night, um, I kind of wonder if there was not a little bit of cheating going on. Manipulating the numbers. I hope they double check that. I really do. Tennessee, you guys should know better. Don't go with a. Sure, the guy was a colonel in the National Guard, but you know what? Why is he leaning toward Trump policies when he knows it's wrong? Okay. He's going to find out real fast if the numbers are correct and everything. Right now, GOP is uh, they're really upset. Why they're upset? Because people now are, because this race is so close. Now, if it's so close, there may be a recount. I don't know if there is or not. I haven't heard or read anything there's going to be a recount on that. But if it's that close, then a recount might suffice on that. Because he said there's like 14 points or something like that. But there is a strong indication that a big blue wave will hit next year during the midterms. Because right now, with all the MAGAs resigning and jumping ship, they're not going to have any, what do you call it? There's not going to be a GOP majority. It's going to be very razor thin. Okay? Now, those that are jumping ship, they're getting smart. They're getting off the boat. And now more and more, especially the legacy media, they're basically ignoring, or they pretty much stopped ignoring Trump's uh, health issues and everything. They're focusing on it. And Trump slapping back at women journalists, asking very tough questions, and he kind of calls them picking. I call him, well, you're a weasel. No offense to the weasels. Um, but I think now I think the Democrats, independents, they should push out the GOP and the MAGAs. Just push them out. Have Democrats and not Megas, Democrats and independents in there. And they work together to solve the problems. And hopefully, years down the road, we don't have a similar issue like we have now with Taco Donnie. Taco Donnie right now is not doing very well. And he's lying, and he's lying through his teeth, like on the MRI, he's lying. He doesn't know how anything works. He doesn't listen. You tell him, and 2 seconds later, forgets. Well, if he has temporal dementia, he's not going to last long. On the average, for people with dementia, I read this some time ago, average lifespan after diagnosis is about 3 years. And I'm pretty sure his started way before that. It just gotten worse and worse and worse. And he's walking and he's sitting down most of the time. They said he hasn't gone on any golf trips anymore because he can't stand, which is a good indicator. Um, he's sitting down, does most of his news conferences sitting down. uh, his he's not doing any more rallies. There's no more rallies, which is good. So we need to still push back, and we need to get a new president and new cabinet, and get a encourage a more responsive government, which is us, the people. We are the government, right? We're the government, and people say, no, we're not. I said, yes, you are. Because you know why? You vote in people to do the work on your behalf. Go, go to go take a civics course. Look it up. And really look at how things truly work. Now, if there's some topics or something you don't understand, look it up and learn from that. Okay? But we need to push back. We need to wake up, push back, and don't be complacent. Just push back and push back hard. Speak up and speak out. Now, if Trump doesn't like it and somebody talks, he didn't like anybody talk ill of him, well, that's just too bad because his actions already show it. His actions bring it on. Previous presidents we had, they are more, as President Obama says, you're more of in a cage or a cocoon so you can work and concentrate on your policies. You don't do anything to bring attention to yourself. You bring attention to a policy that you want to push through. You think that would work. But the same token, most presidents listen to the people and say, okay, here's the policy. What do you think? What do you think would work? Now, the policy itself, it may not work in every part of the country because it depends on what industry the states are in, what their chief industry is, and how well diversified the states are, okay, as far as industry goes. One policy I would really love to see, and I was thinking about this the other day, of having small online jobs for seniors. Those that are willing to learn the computer and how it works and AI and how it works. And people are afraid of AI. Don't be afraid of AI. What your previous generations did when a new technological breakthrough comes through. For example, the car. Okay, the late 1800s, early 1900s, the car. The people were afraid of the car because they never dealt with it before. There were some that were trained to drive it, and there are those that are not trained to drive it. For example, my grandfather tried, he got they were lent a Model T van to deliver the milk, okay, for the Deadwood and Spearfish area. He also ran a dentistry, but he also ran a dairy operation too. But he was intimidated by the truck because he didn't know how to drive it. Well, Dad knew how to drive it because he learned how to drive stick shift. He learned how to drive. He felt that was much easier than handling mules. Well, Grandpa knew how to handle mules. But Dad wanted to make things quicker in delivering the dairy products like the milk and cream and everything else and butter. And he wanted to make it faster for his dad, my grandfather. But Grandpa was intimidated by the truck. So when that happened, they almost had an accident. The brakes on the truck were not working properly. They almost went in the ditch. Dad was able to stop it, but when they got down the bottom of the hill, they were able to stop it, and Dad disengaged the tranny from the engine, and he was able to stop it that way. That's when Grandpa decided, hey, I'll just go back to the mules and deliver that way. Sure, it takes longer, but for me, it's for safety reasons. And then when the computer came on, people were worried about the computer. Okay? You look at each new advancement, people are always afraid of it. And some don't want to learn anything about it. Well, if you don't learn anything about it, then you're left behind. So that's why I try to adapt myself to the computer, what works, what doesn't work. But AI helps you. It's purpose to help you run the computer, solve problems, that type of thing. And those that run businesses, love AI because it helps them manage things better. Okay. So, anyway, that's the end of my little chat today. Um, Let me check my calendar real fast here. Hold on a second. Um, um, okay, I'm going to do my chat show. I might move it to the morning, more like 10:30 in the morning, because I have to get ready for my church's banquet uh, that we're doing. Uh, we're in the process of doing a project, so um, so I'll see you about 10:30 Friday, and don't do my chat then. And I'm glad that Facebook got this going live thing issue fixed. Apparently they've been working on it for some time. They finally got it to work properly. So, anyway, I will see you later. Put in a comment. Love to hear from you. And as I said again, YouTube is trying to resolve some issues on their end. But I will post this video on my YouTube channel. Okay? I will talk to you later. Have a good evening. Take care. Love to all. And thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.